Hello, fellow litigators. Court is now in session. So, guys, I have been meaning to share this information with you about the podcast, but I wasn't really sure it was him, so I was hesitant to share it. However, when Bryan Kohberger's friend did an updated post on her TikTok confirming that she believes it's his voice, that gave me some at least comfort and ethical comfort to know that I could at least share it with you because she is a friend of his. She knows him. So she knows his voice. She's went on hiking trips with him and had different experiences with him. So she could at least identify his voice. She says that her brother's not 100% sure, but in her opinion, she thinks it's him. So guys, I have to share this recording with you, and then we'll play her confirmation that she thinks it's him afterwards. But this podcast to me was quite disturbing, the things that this creep said on the podcast. And it sounded like he was very keeping up with this case. I mean, obsessively keeping up with this case. If you guys watched my prior video where we went over about 4 hours of the Reddit post that he did allegedly using a disguised account called Inside Looking, you need to check that video out because the stuff that he was saying on there was very disturbing. Again, that's an alleged video too, that people believe it is him based upon his email being connected to that account. So, but again, everything's alleged. So let's get into this recording, guys. This is crazy. So first I'll read this and then I'll play the video. But this says, Bryan Kohberger allegedly called into true crime podcast that he eventually sent to the FBI. So the person who was on the podcast or who owned the podcast, he eventually turned this recording into the FBI after it was confirmed by one of Kohberger's friends that she believed it was him and other people believed it was him. It wasn't just Cassie. There was another separate source that had talked to this guy who has the podcast to tell him that they thought it was him also. So multiple people who know Bryan had been confirming it. But I didn't know this man's sources. So when I heard Cassie, who knew him, actually do a recording saying she thinks it's him, that's when I was like, okay, I can play it for you guys. But anyways, this person posted interesting call allegedly from Idaho suspect Bryan Kohberger calling into a true crime podcast recently. The host of the channel today has claimed he sent the call to the FBI. So let's listen to this creepy call, guys. Oh my God.
Worked with probably at least 10 Sigma Chi members. And, you know, the one thing that every single one of them I feel like has asked me is, if you were going to kill somebody, how would you get away with it? And I just wonder if maybe this is nothing more than some kid in a fraternity trying to prove himself. And that was it.
So you said you worked with 5 or 6 Sigma Chi kids and they asked you if you can kill somebody, they can get away with it?
Yeah.
Did I hear that right?
Yeah.
Oh
and
my God!
I know that's a thing that just like maybe people say, trying to like have interesting conversation, but like just in my head, it's like it's always been these dudes that were in the fraternity. And so it makes me wonder if it's a thing that's in their like culture that they ask to see how smart you are and whatever, and what kind of answer you come up with, and someone took it too far.
Oh wow! Who? What kind of dudes would ask you that?
Well,
that's crazy as shit, man. That's an outrageous statement, man. I mean, I'd write their names down.
Yeah, man. Like you know, I like horror movies and all that kind of stuff, and I'll watch those kind of things. But like when someone like in person says some stuff like that, it's kind of like jarring. It's like, what? Why are you saying something like that?
Yeah, that's man. Who said that to you?
So that was the video, guys. The guy on The Voice sounded kind of creepy. He was talking about fraternity people asking him how he could get away with murder. And to me, that sounds consistent with a question someone would ask someone who is studying criminology, who has advanced studies in criminology and forensic psychology, someone who is in the process of studying for their PhD. That would make logical sense to me for, people would be reaching out to him to ask him, oh, well, since you study this, how would you get away with something like this based on your studies? So, I mean, the questions he's saying the fraternity individuals were asking him sounds like consistent questions someone would ask Bryan Kohberger, given his background and his studies. Oh my God, I found that quite disturbing. Oh my God. I'm going to play now for you the confirmation from the friend who says that she thinks that is in fact his voice.
Video of the caller on the podcast. I believe that's him. It sounds exactly like him, in my opinion. I said it to my brother. He said that Bryan usually spoke with more clarity and certainty. So he can't be 100% sure if he believes that's him, but I think it sounds exactly like him. And then regarding of the video of the relative,
so y'all, she thinks that it is his voice. She thinks it's him. So the fact that she's at least confirming it and other people are confirming it, and this recording has since been sent to the FBI, I find it quite disturbing, guys. So I'm going to play it one more time, and then we will go ahead and clock on out. You guys let me know what you think about this really sick, disturbing recording, because I thought it was kind of disturbing. It does sound a little consistent with this creepy guy allegedly trying to call into this place, because he sounds like he was pretty much watching every nook and cranny of this case, if he was allegedly the guy behind the inside looking account on Reddit, because that was absolutely disturbing, guys. It was horrendous. You guys need to watch that video I did on it. I did 4 hours of it, but the reason why it was so long was because we literally went through every post that he put in there to kind of get a full picture of how sick this guy was. And if you listen to it, you will be able to kind of gather how sick he was, and just how he literally got a thrill and satisfaction out of correcting the different people in there about the crime, and how he knew all the details and facts. And it was just really disturbing. So I'm going to play this one more time for you, just in case some people missed it. And then you guys, please let me know what you think about this sick, disturbing call.
Maybe this is nothing more than some kid in the fraternity trying to prove himself. And that was it.
So you said you worked with 5 or 6 Sigma Chi kids, and they asked you if you can kill somebody, they can get away with it?
Yeah.
Did I hear that right?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
my God.
I know that's a thing that just like maybe people say, trying to like have interesting conversation, but like just in my head, it's like, it's always been these dudes that were in the fraternity. And so it makes me wonder if it's a thing that's in their like culture, that they ask to see how smart you are and whatever, and what kind of answer you come up with, and someone took it too far.
Oh, wow. What kind of dudes would ask you that?
Well,
that's crazy as shit, man. That's an outrageous statement, man. I mean, I'd write their names down.
Yeah, man. Like I like horror movies and all that kind of stuff, and I'll watch those kind of things. But like when someone like in person says some stuff like that, it's kind of like jarring. It's like, what? Why are you saying something
Stop
like
the
that?
cap.
Yeah, that's man. Who said that to you?
So I thought it was kind of interesting. The person on there, if that is Bryan, if they're saying it's him, it's interesting that he's trying to put the blame on the fraternity, like trying to throw off the investigation when he knows good and well it wasn't the fraternity. And I think it's kind of interesting if it is his voice. It's interesting his whole take on it when it's in a recorded podcast, whereas on the Reddit, if that is his profile, the inside looking, he is so insistent on saying it's not the fraternity. So it's like interesting how he wants to give the detailed facts if it was him, that the profile on the Reddit. He's interesting how he's giving actual detailed facts in that profile, but when he goes on a podcast, it's like he wants to try to throw off the investigation. I really think this guy didn't think he was going to get caught. I think he wants to fool the police officers. He wants to use this as an experiment, in my opinion. If he was the one who did it, again, we don't even know if he did it. But again, the officers seem to believe it's him, and the FBI is involved in the investigation. And you must know that the FBI has a 98% success rate in prosecutions. They're very precise in what they do. They do not simply arrest people just because of on a speculation or a hint or a hunch. They do very thorough. The FBI is very thorough. They're very precise, and they do very in-depth investigations. Hence why it was 2 months for this investigation before the FBI moved in. They don't just move in unless they have solid evidence. That's why they have a very high success rate. So that's why I have more trust in the fact that the FBI is involved versus a local police department doing the investigation. If it was local police department, I would pause and wait and see what they really have. But when the FBI is in on the investigation, you better believe they're doing a very, very in-depth, deep investigation into this case, and they are not going to move to arrest someone unless it's a solid case. I'm really interested in finding out what's in the arrest affidavit, which should be coming out soon. I predict if Bryan does waive his extradition, which is what he has vocally stated to his attorney, he should be back in Idaho by probably late tomorrow or early Wednesday, which would be wonderful because by then we will have access to that arrest affidavit and we will know the full details. Well, not the full details, but the ones that they put in at least the probable cause. We're not going to have all the details, guys, but we'll at least have the probable cause information as to what led to the arrest, which will give us some information to really connect this guy to the crime if he did it allegedly. There is varied perceptions of him out there. I understand what Ariana's saying, give the guy a benefit of the doubt. No one's really going out and saying he did this. We're just going off of talking about the information that people are saying. So none of us know him personally. For my platform, I'm merely just stating the opinions of what friends, family members, people who say they have known him. Okay. Now there's varied perceptions of him. There's a lot of people saying that he was a bully, allegedly, that he did kickboxing, may have tried to practice his kickboxing on other people, allegedly. And one woman came out and said that he tried to break her glass and was really mean to her children. Another boy said he was mean to him. A man who owns a bar says that he heard of a lot of women and his own female employees saying that Bryan was creepy towards them, made creepy comments towards them, called one woman a B word when she rejected him. There was students in the classes that he taught. He was a teaching assistant that said very disturbing things about him. One lady said that she was so emotional about the things that he was saying to her, allegedly, that she stormed out of the classroom because she was so emotional and left her items there, allegedly. That is what people in the class are saying happened. And to find all this information, all you have to do is watch all my prior videos because we read the articles word from word of what the people have been alleging. This lady, Cassie, who just confirmed his voice on this podcast, she seems to state that he was nice to her, but mean to her brother. So again, there's varied information out there about this man. I'm going to see if I can even find that video for you, Cassie. I don't know if I'll find it, guys, but what is her name? Cassie. Hold on, guys. I'll play it from here. I could play it from my phone. Oh yeah, her name is Cassie Farts. Ooh, I wouldn't want that to be my name. I hope that's not her real name. Cassie Farts. What kind of name is that? Anyway, guys, sorry, I got thrown off by her name. Okay, so I'm gonna play this video for you because, again, a lot of people have varied perceptions of him, but it's good to give all perspectives. She says that he was nice to her, but that her brother states that he was mean to him and bullied him and, you know, did some disturbing things to him. So let's hear her perception.
I just wanted to say that in the time that I did know Bryan, he was always nice to me too. I'm not using this as an excuse to condone his behavior. No, that's fucking disgusting. This shouldn't have happened. But he was nice to me. He would message me. He would start the conversations. He would compliment me. He would want to invite me to hang out with him. We did a hike at there's like this pipeline next to my parents' house, and it goes up a decent sized mountain, I guess. I remember hiking that with him, my brother, and another friend, and I was freaking out because my anxiety was peaked. I hate heights, and it was just a terrifying experience, but he pushed me to complete it. He, again, was nice to me. However, I can't speak from other people's experiences. It's coming out on Facebook. A lot of the kids that I was in school with are saying that, you know, Bryan was bullied as a kid, which I can believe because he was an overweight kid. But then he lost all the weight. And some people are saying that he accepted apologies from other people. Other people are saying that he then bullied them back. I don't know. There's a lot of speculation. But coming from me directly, he was, again, nice to me. At the end of the day, I just want to get the story out, just like other people do. There's going to be a lot of claims. There's going to be a lot of speculation. There's going to be a lot of different statements that are being said. But as far as I know, more people that I knew were friends with him or just knew him in general are coming to speak out. This has nothing to do with any 15 minutes of fame. This is a big case. He did not steal candy from a store. He murdered 4 fucking people. That is insanity. But we want to provide clarity on the case, whether it be private or public. In this instance, it is public. My name's out there. The video's out there. We want to just let everyone know. Like, it's... People are asking why I'm personally inserting myself into this crime. I wouldn't say I'm doing that. I'm just providing what insight I had on him in the time that I knew him. That's all this is. It's not anything more. I just wanted to say that in the time that I did know Bryan, he was always nice to me too.
And she's had a lot of other things to say too, which I, you know, don't mind sharing with you because I think it's good to at least get all the perspectives. I shared, I think, another post about what she did, but I'll share them again. But first and foremost, let me clarify, because I don't know, Ariana, if you're a new subscriber or not, or what your role is. But first of all, I'm a 10-year practicing attorney. I know the different standards of proof. I've practiced as a criminal prosecutor. I know beyond a reasonable doubt. I don't need you to come into my chat trying to educate me on the law, because I know it very in-depthly, first of all. Second of all, like I said, the FBI is in on this case, and they did a very deep dive into the case. Although we're waiting to see what they have and waiting for the trial, we have a right to talk about the case. If you don't want to hear about the case, Ariana, please stop watching the videos, girl. You over here watching all these videos about it, and then you coming in people's chats talking about, don't talk about it. Wait and see. Girl, we're just talking about the case and what people are saying about it. If you don't like talking about it, go wait and see. Stop watching the videos and see what happens. But as for me on my platform, we have an open dialogue in our group and we want to talk about it. So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to give our opinions in this group. People are welcome to share their opinions. If we're wrong, we're wrong. We're wrong, okay? We'll just apologize. But it's an opinion. People have a right to have thought processes. We don't have to sit around and not have a thought and not think for ourselves because We want to wait and see. Opinion is not a fact. It is just a thought of what you think about information that is out there. This young lady knows him allegedly. She's giving her perspective, and I'm curious to hear what she has to say. Okay? If you don't want to hear what she has to say, there's other places you can go watch. But we're going to watch her. So there's a next thing she has to say about him that I posted earlier that I wanted to bring to you guys to hear what you guys have to say about her and what she thinks about him, because she has had some childhood experiences with Mr. Kohberger. And again, she gives a varied perspective, which is why I like her, because she's not just talking about, for example, how bad he is. She's giving both sides. She said he was nice to her, but a lot of people are saying he's mean to her. So it's good to hear all sides. You know what I mean? To hear every different perspective. So we at least got one perspective where she said he was nice to her, but she's saying other perspectives, people are saying he was mean. So we're getting a full scope to kind of figure out really who this guy is while we wait for more information to come out. So let's hear this other video she did about him.
Okay. I don't have many followers, so I'm not sure who this is going to reach out to, but regarding the case of the 4 Idaho students that were slain and the arrest that was made, I used to be friends with Bryan Kohberger during my middle and high school years. And then before anyone comes at me and says that I'm just running for clout, I'm not. I have pictures that I will show you. I have screenshots that I will show you. I have yearbook pictures that I show you. I went to school with the kid. I was friends with him. I wouldn't make something like this up. I am just in absolute shock right now. I was heading to lunch when my mom called me, and immediately I knew something was off because I have the type of family that we don't call each other. So if someone does call someone, we know something's bad. She called me and asked me about the murders. I didn't know where she was going with it until she said that it was Bryan Kohberger, and naturally I freaked out and called about 8 of my friends. My brother was really good friends with him. My other friend, Brandon, was really good friends with him. I'm going to have a picture of him with him on the green screen as well. I'm shaking still. But anyway, let me show you. This is Brandon, the one I was talking about. It's his wife, Brianna, and that's me. This is back in 2017. Obviously, that's Bryan. Still has the dead face that it's the eyes. I don't know. But when I spoke to him back in 2017, he was clean. He was a heavy heroin user back in high school. And it was just nice to see the kid clean up. And at that time, he said he was doing security detail. I believe it was out of school is what he told me. But he seemed like he was better. Obviously, that wasn't true. Here's another picture from a party that we had at Brandon's house. That's Bryan there. He used to be a bigger kid as well. But again, that's him. And then at the same wedding, I'm here, but he's back there. He was sitting at the same table as me and my mother. But he is back there enjoying a drink. I was sitting right next to him. We talked. He seemed fine. My mom sent me the old school yearbook. That was him. Bryan Kohberger, that's him. He went to Pleasant Valley, graduated with, I think, my friend Christopher, a year younger than me. This is when he nonchalantly decided to make me drive him around the Poconos for heroin, and I had no idea. I thought I was just doing a nice deed because he needed something, and it turns out that he was getting heroin. Sorry, I'm like, my voice is shaking. I might make a part 2. I probably have to. I don't have a 6-minute feature. I only have a 3-minute feature. I also talk really fast, so I'm sorry.
So that was another video she did, like when she first came out, about knowing him. And I thought that was kind of disturbing because she was talking about how, you know, when they were friends, he literally made her drive him around to go look for heroin. I'm like, oh my gosh, allegedly, if that's what happened. I don't know if what she's saying to be true or not, y'all, but that is what she alleges. If that is true, seems like he had a drug problem. I'm not sure if he may have, but then she said he got clean. So I'm not sure if he may have relapsed and started using drugs again, if that could have affected him in any way, his behavior, his rationality. I don't know, guys. Y'all let me know what you guys think about what Cassie has to say. She also has come out and talked about, and I want to share this with you guys. My gosh, she has come out and she's talking about what she thinks might possibly be his intentions for these crimes. She think it might be for his sick satisfaction and that he wants to basically fool and kind of play around with the attorneys. I mean, not the attorneys, but the authorities, to kind of like send them on a hunt and kind of use it as a project. So let's hear this one. I was like, wow. So let's hear her perspective of what she thinks. She's also talked to her brother about it. Her brother kind of agrees with what she's saying about it. So
Bryan.
I think it's pretty interesting, her perspective of what she thinks why he did this crime. Again, these are just her opinions. So again, we don't know if all of this is opinions and speculations, but it's interesting to hear a perspective of someone who has known him, who has been his friend for quite some time, to hear what she thinks based upon her knowledge of him. So.
After talking with my brother, we have definitely came to the conclusion that we believe Bryan, if he committed these crimes, is doing it for some sick satisfaction of knowing he can undermine and challenge the intelligence of law enforcement. We believe that he's 100% going to plead not guilty. Obviously, that's already been kind of said and insinuated that he was going to do that. Again, we both think this is a sick game to him, almost kind of like it's a school project, and he just has to weasel his way in, like a how to get away with murder type situation. He thinks he can outsmart the police, FBI, all of that. If it does come out that he is innocent, what's said and done is what's said and done. And I said what I said about him. Obviously, the police have enough on him to have issued a warrant for his arrest. So again, if he committed these crimes, I believe it's for his sick satisfaction. My brother has come out and said that although he was friends with him, he did bully him a lot. He would make my brother seem kind of slower. Bryan always had to be the smartest person in the room, and that coincides with what a lot of people are saying that had him as a TA at Washington State. So it makes sense that attributes he had all those years ago stands true today. So yeah. But again, regarding motive, we just think it's a game to him. We think he's doing it to see if he can get away with it. I think a lot of people can agree with that. A lot of people have said they agreed with that. It's disgusting. He's a narcissist. This is what he wants. He's like feeding off of the satisfaction of knowing that he got away with it for so long. And he truly thinks that he's got to be innocent. So we'll see what happens.
Wow, guys. I thought that was an interesting perspective that Cassie has to say, because it does seem to coincide with a lot of the experts that are speaking about this and just this guy's sick obsessions with serial killers. I mean, that was his prime study in school. He studied about some of the sickest serial killers out there. Allegedly, one of them was B2K that he studied because he studied under Catherine Ramsland, and she was the one that did BTK's autobiography and interviewed him. And so I'm pretty sure she presented information about him in the class that Bryan took. So Bryan had some pretty sick stuff. He always wanted to be allegedly the smartest person in the room based upon friends, students who took classes with him, people who were in his class when he was a teaching assistant who have said the same thing about him always trying to be the smartest one or undermine people's intelligence and stuff like that, allegedly what people are saying. So it does sound like what Cassie's saying, like something consistent with what he would be doing. You know what I mean? It sounds like someone who he enjoys this. He enjoys the officers going on all this treasure hunt for trying to find him and figure him out. I mean, just think about how his response was when the officers arrested him. The officers are alleging that he said, "Have you arrested someone else?" It's like he's trying to play mind games with the officers. And he has allegedly told his attorney that he looks forward to being exonerated. So it's like he's enjoying the fact that he's going to be able to present all this evidence. He's going to try to challenge the DNA evidence, because that was a statement that the user, the inside looking user, said on Reddit, who we think is allegedly Bryan, because again, his email account was linked to it. And also, if you go and look up inside looking, you'll notice that profile has not been active ever since Mr. Bryan Kohberger has been arrested. Yeah, the last time Mr. Inside Looking spoke on that Reddit profile was Thursday, the day before Bryan's arrest. Now he has since never responded again. So that's another piece of small detail that could clue us in that it was possibly Mr. Bryan on that Inside Looking account. And it was so creepy, guys, that video. My gosh. I literally had nightmares last night thinking about that profile. But the Inside Looking profile on Reddit talked about how DNA evidence can be weak and sensitive and all this stuff. So it's like he's going to enjoy, guys, dismantling this case and trying to raise reasonable doubt. I wouldn't be surprised, guys. We're going to wait and see. But I wouldn't be surprised if he's not enthusiastic about trying to represent himself. You know, he might get to a point where he's like, I don't want to deal with these attorneys. I want to do this myself, use all my studies I've done in school. Kind of like Ted Bundy. You remember Ted Bundy? Who was studying in law school as a criminal law student. He wanted to practice his little legal skills that he got in school to try to represent himself in the trial. And I think that's kind of the personality, grandiose personality that Bryan has, that he thinks he's the smartest person. He can outsmart the authorities. So, I mean, I'm kind of with Cassie on her perspective, her opinion, her and her brother's opinion. You guys let me know what you guys think about it, because it sounds kind of close. And what do you guys think about that creepy caller on the podcast? Do you think that was Bryan, y'all? Then it said, thank you, Queen Ponytail Girl was messing with my vibe. I love your content, all the info you give. Thank you, Nanette Kennedy. Love you so much. Appreciate you. Sometimes it's very difficult to have YouTube because there's a lot of trolls out there who just want to kind of argue with you over and over again, when that's not the reason why we're on YouTube. We're not here to argue. We're just here to have an open dialogue with different people that, although we may not all agree, we can be kind and polite to each other with our disagreement. You don't have to be nasty about it. You could just be like, hey, I don't agree with your perspective. Here's my opinion. And that's totally cool. That's why I'm here, because I love all the different perspectives and I love your different take on things. But there's just a lot of bullies online who are trolls, girl. And it sometimes can be very frustrating because we want to come and talk about these cases because we're interested in them. But there's people out there who just want to sow discord. So I appreciate people like you, Miss Kennedy and Miss Brenda and Alyssa and all the other lovely subscribers who love the deep dives and us really delving in to find out what is going on, y'all. Nanette, if you like deep dives, girl, you got to look at that 4-hour video we did yesterday. That was a serious, like, deep dive into the ocean analysis, girl. We went into pretty much all the posts from that Inside Looking profile that people think is Bryan's on Reddit. And girl, if it's him, he is quite disturbing, girl. It was very, very horrendous. I couldn't believe the stuff that he was saying if that was him, allegedly. Hi, Exo Tony. How are you? He says, thank you, Queen Esquire, for the deep dives into the lives of these alleged perpetrators. I, for one, am curious also. Wonderful. Thank you, Exo. You get me. Thank you so much, sweetie. Appreciate you. That's why I do it, for all you lovely people. Hi, Tracy Jackson from San Diego. Oh, the most beautiful place in the world, I hear. Wow, look at you. You are quite a lucky person. Nice to see you in the chat, Tracy Jackson. Take care and happy new year to you and happy Monday also, Mr. Jackson. All right, guys, let me know what you guys think about this disturbing information we just found out. What do you guys think about his friend Cassie? Do you think she gave us some insight? Do y'all agree with her? Do you not agree with her? I don't know. She has more personal knowledge of Bryan, so I'm kind of curious to what she has to say. If you guys are curious to more information about her, you can follow her on her TikTok. It's Cassie Farts. Sorry, the name just takes me out every time I hear the name. I'm sorry, guys. But just follow her. She's going to give a lot of other posts on there. She seems to be very active. Her last post was like 5 hours ago. So she's pretty active on there. So I'll be checking her out and sharing some of that information. We'll come back and we'll talk about it more. All right, guys. So we should be reconvening about this case, if not later on today, if some new information comes out, or tomorrow when he has his hearing in Pennsylvania. We'll be having a talk about that also. All right, take care, guys. Let me know if you want me to talk about any other stories out there. So I'm definitely open to talking about any other stories, recommendations you have, because this is really your channel too, because I love talking about these cases with you all. All right, take care. And thank you, Drancy. I'm sorry if I'm not saying your name right, Mr. Jackson. Please forgive me. But thank you for that. Yes, hit the like button, you guys. Oh, we got another San Diego. Oh, I am so jealous. All these San Diego people in here. I'm jealous. I hear San Diego is one of the most beautiful places in the world. I have visited once, and it is gorgeous, guys. So, yes, you guys are very lucky. I'm kind of jealous of Miss Jessica and Mr. Jackson because y'all got to go visit San Diego. It's gorgeous over there. It's expensive. I don't know how y'all must be the rich people in the chat. Drancy and Jessica, y'all must be rich because that place I heard is expensive to live. Okay. But anywho, I love you guys so much. Thank you. Let me know if there's any other stories you want to cover. Please hit the like button because that at least gets the video out there. All right. Take care. Love you all.